certainly will always remember his contribution. I think future generations will still have a full appreciation of what our country has become purely on the basis of the Constitution and the values we espouse. Of course, the journey is still very long to truly transform our country into what our Constitution envisages. But Dr. Zola Skweyiya is one of those key constitutionalists. Not just a constitutionalist, but somebody who believed in a democratic and profoundly transformative constitutionalism. That the fundamental principle is that the authority of the states and governments and leaders derive from the people themselves, and that no one is above the law, and that the Constitution basically sets the context within which we relate, within which governments exercise the responsibilities that they are given. So that's very, very important. Half the time, we younger generations are very critical of the South African Constitution, but I am saying that posterity will be best to judge that we, as is often said, have the best Constitution. I think the critical challenge is to make sure that those values, those principles that are in our Constitution are translated into the reality, the daily reality for millions of our citizens. But we can't fault our Constitution. And Dr. Skweyiya was central to the crafting. For many years, when he was in exile in the ANC as the chair of the Constitutional Committee, he is amongst those who thought through what kind of society we must be, that we must be a society that is based on rule of law, where the Constitution is supreme, and that no institution, no government must really be above the Constitution of our country. And that's very important.
All right, thank you very much, sir. That is the Gauteng Premier David Makhura, just giving us another side to Dr. Zola Skweyiya, that he contributed greatly to the formation of the South African Constitution and making sure that the Constitution remains supreme, and that all those that are entrusted with the power abide by our Constitution. Of course, we're continuing with the coverage. We are still here at the family home for part one. Part two, of course, is coming at 8:30. That is when we're going to be at the Revival Christian Church, which is at Corner Linwood and Solomon Mahlangu Drive. That's taking place at 8:30, and the public is welcome to be part of that ceremony, where President Ramaphosa will be delivering the main eulogy. It's now back to you in studio.
That is, of course, our reporter Sipho Stuurman, who is at the home of the late Zola Skweyiya. Of course, that funeral will be starting at 8:30 this morning, as he mentioned, at the Christian Revival Church. High-level politicians, fellow cadres, as well as friends and family will all be gathered to bid him a final goodbye.